All right, a very big welcome to you, my awesome viewers and subscribers. I am honored to have you here once again on The Truth with Ben Jokes, your trusted channel for political analysis. Now, the fact that I took a short break from reporting killings in Nigeria does not mean it is not happening. Nigerians are still being slaughtered daily, and Tinubu can feel that the people's hatred for his regime and all that concerns him has tripled. That's why he's running helter-skelter, securing endorsements from his fellow crooks up and down. Look at this. 2027, APC governors, lawmakers endorse Tinubu as consensus presidential candidate. All the endorsements Tinubu has received in the last 6 months can't add up to 2,000 votes in a free and fair election. So it is clear rigging is Tinubu's only option, because Nigerians never accepted him in 2023 and the rejection is even worse now. And a few hours ago, UMAHI was disgraced in his own state, EBONYI state, for trying to embarrass Peter Obi and saying that the people of the southeast have endorsed Tinubu for 2027 and even called on Peter Obi to come and join them in a summit to endorse him. Now, the people of EBONYI have disgraced UMAHI for his shameful utterances, and concurrently, an update came out of the southwest which confirms that Obi is making some very serious underground moves, to the point that a southwest presidential aspirant openly showed willingness to step down for Obi just after he stated that he will not step down for Atiku. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. This video here is from public policy analyst Abba Kaka, a very emotional yet powerful admonition, I must say. See the video.
And very unfortunate 2 years down the line. And as you said, this is time for governance. This is not time for politicking. Everything, including insecurity, has been politicized. And I come from the Northeast, Borno State in particular. And our governor has come out clearly and said that there's resurgency of insurgency in the state. And apparently, some ministers sitting down in Abuja refuse to even accept the fact that this is what it is. And what is happening is today, the same governor also came out, that is Governor Zulum, came out and said that informants in the military, as well as in the community and in the security forces, are behind the resurgency. People are looking and selling information for money. And our people are dying. The president is probably not getting the right information, as far as I'm concerned. Because if a governor like Zulum can come out and say, this is what is happening in my own state, and you don't take it serious. A minister is sitting in a cozy office in Abuja and calling shots just because of psychophancy. It's enough, it's enough. This cannot continue like that. Even when he was in 3 days ago, he was in Marte, 300 or so communities have left their villages. One town remaining. Marte, the governor, was begging the military and the president that they should not allow Marte to fall. What are we doing? What is happening in this country? Mr. President Tinubu, what is going on? Something is wrong here. Please wake up and listen to the voice of Nigerians. Our people are dying. And you're talking about 2027? No, no, and no.
You heard that. Tinubu does not care one bit about the killings in this country, and it is obvious. And let us not forget that it was after the formation of the APC by Tinubu and Buhari that this level of insecurity began in this country. You use your tongue to count your teeth. But I'm actually shocked that some people are not even aware that this is who Tinubu is. Abba Kaka is still here saying maybe they are giving him the wrong information. No, he knows everything that is happening. He just does not care. This is who he is. He has never done any single thing that he didn't benefit hugely from. If he will not benefit, he will never do it. That is why he would rather pay 100 billion naira each to 20 governors to endorse him. That's about 2 trillion than to invest 1 trillion in the health sector in Nigeria. That is who he is. And it's such a shame. But just as I have maintained, these endorsements mean nothing if Nigerians are ready to get Tinubu out of office. Nigerians led by the opposition can force the Electronic Transfer of Result Act to be signed into law. Every polling unit will view their results on the iRev and ensure that it is consistent with what is on ground on the hard copy at the polling unit. That is all. Tinubu will be back to Lagos. The other way out is a revolution to defend votes in each state. But even that kind of crowd that you need for a revolution is also needed to get the electronic transfer of results signed into law. Meaning, the electronic transfer of results being signed into law is tantamount to a revolution. So, in a nutshell, the people and the opposition must introduce a degree of aggression into the struggle for it to succeed. Point blank, period. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that story coming out of southwest Nigeria, confirming that Peter Obi is making some big but quiet moves on the ground. And next is that update from EBONYI. The people of EBONYI disgraced Dave UMAHI after he tried to embarrass Peter Obi by saying the Southeast had endorsed Tinubu and that Obi should join them to endorse him. Let's start by taking that update from the Southwest. Presidential candidate of the SDP, Adebayo Adewale, confirmed that Peter Obi is making some underground moves, quiet but powerful, and he himself subtly showed his willingness to step down for Peter Obi. Look at how the papers reported it. 2027, why I might consider stepping down for Obi, SDP's Adebayo. Prince Adewale Adebayo, the Social Democratic Party presidential candidate in the 2023 general election, has hinted that he might consider stepping down for Peter Obi in the 2027 presidential election. According to Adebayo, there are secret talks and plans underway to unseat Bola Tinubu, with Obi being a key player. Adebayo emphasized that the 2027 presidential battle is for Nigerians to decide and not about defections and propaganda by politicians. He stated that Tinubu has a trajectory to losing the 2027 election and returning to wherever he came from, adding that Nigerians have given Tinubu 2 years to put his acts together. His words: I like what he is doing. He is serious-minded. He is having meaningful discussion, quiet discussion, honorable discussion. When asked if he would step down for Obi, Adebayo replied, that will come later, but for what I see, I like what he is doing. Adebayo also revealed that the SDP is talking to people outside the party and making progress. He emphasized that the plan to unseat Tinubu is solid but underground and not about photo opportunities or courtesy calls, adding that it is about working out differences and presenting a united front against the ruling party. Wow, he is serious-minded. He is having meaningful discussion, quiet discussion, honorable discussion. That is typical of His Excellency Peter Obi. You know that is how his discussions will go. It is about honor, meaning, not don't worry, I'll give you this one. Not don't worry, I'll give you port authority so that you'll be stealing. Enough of all that in this country. That was the presidential candidate of the SDP making it clear that he is able to step down for Peter Obi when the time comes. And some people will say, don't mind him, he's working for Tinubu. No, politics is about perception. For him to sit on channels and say that, it gives a very great positive perception about Peter Obi in the Southwest and in the regions that he's not as popular as his stronghold. And he said this after making it clear that he can't step down for Atiku. Look at it. 2027, I won't step down for Atiku, says ex-SDP presidential candidate Adebayo. And he has expressed willingness to step down for Obi, so that's a big plus. And Obi is making consultations underground in the Southwest. That is how I want Obi to operate, because his brand of politics is still very new in Nigeria. Politics of truth, politics of integrity, honor, and passion for collective good. Such novel ideas require serious consultations, and given Obi's success in the Southwest in 2023 presidential elections, more consultations is definitely a big plus. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update from EBONYI State began making the rounds. Look at how the papers reported it. 2027, UMAHI, incapable of delivering Southeast to you. EBONYI indigenes tell Tinubu. Abuja, the Association of EBONYI Indigenes Sociocultural in Diaspora has asked Bola Tinubu to discountenance claims by his Minister of Works, Engineer David Nweze UMAHI, that he will deliver the Southeast for the ruling All Progressive Congress APC in the next general election, noting that the former Ebonyi governor lacks the capacity to accomplish such a huge task. The Ebonyi indigenes also expressed dismay over what they described as UMAHI's downright denial of marginalization of the Southeast geopolitical zone. The last we recall on his electoral outing was his colossal loss of his Ebonyi South senatorial zone in 2023, where even as a sitting governor, he couldn't control a meager 5 local government areas in his Ebonyi South senatorial district. Of course, we know how he allegedly used his influences of security agents and INEC stop brass to be declared the winner of that senatorial election he had manifestly lost before midday. In terms of political weight and influence, Tinubu ought to have known that UMAHI weighs far below the average, from his reckless speeches to actions and inactions, both then as a governor and even now as a minister. No serious political elite in the Southeast region can be easily swayed or influenced by UMAHI, except perhaps for few cronies he has been servicing in his home state of Ebonyi. We ask, what was his achievement as the longest serving chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum? While cautioning the Tinubu administration against taking UMAHI's words and promise seriously, the group said UMAHI is trying to strategically position himself as a leader and a spokesperson of the Southeast region he has zero influence on. You heard that? If Tinubu thinks the Southeast follow billionaires and ex-governors blindly during elections, then he needs to rethink. He needs to think again. Since 1999, the best candidates on the ballot have been the ones who emerged victorious in the Southeast Nigeria, not the man who spent the most money or bribed the most stakeholders and politicians, traditional rulers and religious leaders. All those things don't count in the Southeast. When Obasanjo and Olufalaye ran against each other, both men looked good. So Obasanjo just edged Olufalaye a little bit in the Southeast. When Atiku ran against Buhari, it was landslide for Atiku because Buhari is clearly evil. When Yaradua ran against Buhari, it was landslide for Yaradua because Buhari is clearly evil. The same thing for Jonathan. So the Southeast will call a spade a spade. You can't use all these crooked men to deceive them. UMAHI has no political weight to discredit Peter Obi in his local government in Ebonyi State, let alone the Southeast as a whole. After seeing these reports and watching all the videos that have been flying around everywhere on social media since UMAHI made that statement against Peter Obi, even Tinubu will know that UMAHI has been deceiving him. And of course, UMAHI has been reminded how he had to rig his own election to get to the Senate. So how can he speak for someone else? UMAHI and Ben Kalu, they are just deceiving Tinubu, milking him dry, claiming that they can deliver for him in the Southeast. If Tinubu loses out in 2027, they'll just tell him sorry, sir. And already they would have pocketed their own billions. So they are just doing good business. It's such a pity how politicians would rather share billions to buy support amongst themselves than to earn it by doing the right thing. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Chika says, even UMAHI is aware of this very fact. Even his polling unit itself talk more of the whole state. He can't even deliver his polling unit against Peter Obi. And Privilege here says, no APC politician in the Southeast possesses the strength to deliver the Southeast to the goblin in Aso Rock. That is it. Nobody can do that. And this video by Tonic says they can only deliver via grabbing, snatching, and running with it. In a free and fair election, APC will hardly win any election. Electoral laws need to be reviewed and amended. There should be no glitches. There should be no go to court. Once they do that, they are finished. That is why there has to be a revolution to push them to do that. And this studio says everybody knows that all APC can do is introduce violence and rig the election. What a shame that after 12 years, APC cannot win elections without rigging. It shows one thing, that they are not doing anything right for the people. This is why I have concluded that these men work for the devil, and it will continue to get worse for Nigerians under the APC. If Nigerians want to have a country that they can be proud of, hell, if we want to still have a country at all in the near future, we must come together, cast our sentiments aside, and get the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town, make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because now because of una I dey here, so don't go away, don't go away.